Continuing with the part 2 video. Back to my previous video. I was talking to my childhood elementary best friend, and I was best friends with this girl for about 8 years at this point. And I told her no, that he didn't know. Anyway, I ended up telling him. I was 18 at this point, and I asked him if he could go get my mom. I lived right next door. He went over and got my mom. So I told my mom and my ex this story right together at the same time, and my mom gave me a hug, and she told me it was okay. She asked me why I didn't tell her before, because we have such a strong bond. My response was, I didn't think it mattered because I wasn't actually raped. My point to this video is, if you've been raped, or you've been molested, or you've come close, I just want you to know you're not alone. And just because it never happened and you were able to get away by some fortunate circumstance, the pain is all the same. And we've all, that this has happened to, have been through it. And you're not crazy for being upset about a situation that never completely happened, because you were fortunate enough to get away and a lot of people weren't. So that's a story that you can live to tell, because if it ever comes down to it, you don't know what would have happened, and somebody, whoever you believe in, somebody was watching over you. And I'm grateful every day where it did not get to that point. And now I understand some things a little better. Just because I didn't have that tragedy to live with that it had actually went through, I had the scare that somebody was trying to, and I was fortunate enough, unlike a lot of people, to get away from that really bad situation. And he did return later on in my life and do some things that scared me and a few friends. But that's a whole different ball game, and he just kept appearing in my life when I was younger, and every time I seen him, it made my heart stop, because thank goodness there were so many people around. But even at a time, a couple years later, when it was me and one of my other female friends, we were at a park, and he had appeared later on in my life, and even with her there, he was very, very persistent, and he was very aggressive, and not just towards me, but towards her, to the point where we were even right next door, standing about 20 feet away from the police station, and he was pretty aggressive. And come to find out later, he had, during that time before he left, he actually had assaulted my friend physically. And come to find out later that I did not know, he had threatened her with a gun. She ended up calling the cops, and he actually did have a gun on him. So there are so many instances with this one person that I've had a lot of heartache. And I was so scared to tell my story to my friends, because, you know, when something tragic like that happens, nobody wants to believe that it's real. So I didn't want to be the person where they're like, oh, it didn't happen. Oh, she's joking. But that's something that I've had to live with my entire life. And as close as me and my parents were, and still are, there are things that it's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing, and it's very worrisome, and you just want to get away. You never want to bring it up again. You never want to talk about it. It is really scary, and it's hurtful physically and emotionally and mentally. So if you're going through this, I just want you to know that you're not the only one. If you've had an instant situation like this happen before, it's not nothing. It's not nothing to worry about. If it didn't completely happen, you're stuck with this tragedy for the rest of your life. So just talk about it. Just talk about it, because I have only went into details with one person. One person. I was vague with my mom, and I was vague with my ex. I only went into detail with one person. And all these years, I wish I could have found the courage to talk about it, but I was so afraid somebody was going to judge me. Oh, it didn't actually happen. Why are you crying? Why are you freaking out? You're loved, and you're not alone. So feel free to get a hold of me, inbox me, text me, call me, if you have anything you need to talk about. Don't ever be afraid to talk about something that hurts you, mentally, emotionally, or physically, or all of the above. You're worth it. And I thank God every day that I had the friends that I had, and that I have the family that I have. I have since rekindled my friendship with the girl that I was texting, and she has since been a very, very dear friend in my life. We all learn from things. We were young. I just hope that if this has happened to you, you have some way to let it out. You're not alone. That's the point of it. You're not alone. Don't be scared to speak. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.